Hello, everyone. I'm Elena Erda, Amalgamate's Artistic Director, and welcome to our live Commercials for Humanity debut. Thank you for joining tonight. For those of you who are new to Amalgamate's work, Amalgamate exists to raise awareness around significant topics and events that affect humanity through authentic storytelling. And our mission is to make the world a better place by transforming the people in it, one story, one event, one collaboration at a time. Our latest initiative we've been passionately developing is Commercials for Humanity, and that is what has gathered us here tonight together. We've partnered up with 4 nonprofit organizations to create our first series of Commercials for Humanity, which is a collection of online films about under 2 minutes each that use the power of dance and storytelling to compel viewers to action. The inaugural series features organizations that work with some of the most vulnerable populations in our society: refugees, the homeless, incarcerated youth, and those who are suffering from crippling medical debt. We're fighting for the causes that we believe in and really trying to rally people together through the arts to help. And tonight, we're going to watch the first live screening of Home, our commercial in partnership with RDJ Refugee Center. We'll be talking about the great work they do and the ways that you can support. And at the end, Sarah Foster and I will do a live Q&A. So put your questions in the chat. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. And okay, so please take a moment now to put your device at full screen. Give you a second to do that. And now the moment we've been waiting for, the world premiere of our first commercial release, Home.
"37,000 people are forced to flee their homes every day due to conflict or persecution. Asylum seekers often have little access to government assistance and lack of personal network. Many are homeless. RDJ is New York City's first full-time shelter for asylum seekers. Guests receive food, shelter, legal support, education, job readiness training, and housing support. Rebuilding security, rebuilding lives, rebuilding home.
Now, for a moment, imagine, what if you fled persecution from your home country and were forced to leave your family and your children behind? You arrived in the US as a refugee or someone seeking asylum, and all you have is what you carry in your bag. You have no voice, no one, no access to services and resources, and you find yourself alone on the streets of New York City. You have no idea how to even begin to start life again. RDJ Refugee Shelter is what gets you on your feet, and not only provides shelter and food, but it also gets you on track with legal status, a new home, employment, and stability. This organization provides you with a new beginning. I now have the honor of introducing Adafe from RDJ. Adafe made this video for our gala, and we thought it was perfect to share with you all tonight.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, my name is Adafe Okboro. I'm the Executive Director of RDJ Refugee Shelter in Harlem. 2020 has been a very, very trying year. I'm very excited to announce the collaboration with Amalgamate Dance Group. We have been chosen as an organization to participate in this 2020 gala. Although the gala is happening virtually, it's an opportunity for us to reach out to people who might not have gotten to know an organization like us. RDJ Refugee Shelter is the only shelter in New York City that provides housing for asylum seekers and refugees, and we do this with the support of people like you. Many refugees each year come to America. Without the support of people like you, it's not possible for us to provide them the service they need. We're very excited to be a part of this program, and we wish the best for the rest of the year 2020. Thank you very much for deciding to be a part of upholding the integrity of America and for giving refugees like myself the opportunity to be a part of this big melting pot. Thank you very much.
What a fabulous organization. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Foster, and I was the associate choreographer, producer, and dancer for the community Commercials for Humanity project. Now it's time to hear from one of the dancers who was featured in Home. Earlier today, I sat down with Sean Scantlebury to talk about what it was like to work on Home. Here it is. So Sean, you just watched Home for the first time. It's been in post for about a month. What's your reaction?
Wow, man, it's amazing. I'm very shocked myself because thinking having all these Zoom rehearsals for like an hour from different parts of people's apartments or houses or live studios. It's just to look at it personally. I had to watch it like at least 4 or 5 more times to make sure that was us on that stage and everything was recorded properly. And I think it was so dope, man. I'm very proud of what we came up with a lot. Elena, yes, I can't get that confused. She'll kill me. Elena, like she's so like her mindset is so powerful and like having those ideas in her head and actually put it on people, it was just amazing.
Very cool. Is there any particular moment that really like stuck out for you or that surprised you when you were watching it, maybe the 3rd or 4th time?
Oh, I have a lot of them. I have a lot of them, especially from the beginning when my hands come out and I started to scream. That was like a roar from the stomach and up and out, and like when the music hits and go boom, it will fall back. I was like, yes, I have to watch it again. It's great. I have another one where everyone comes in and out, and I fall back, and I just drop, and now like all that chalk goes up in the air. I was like, wow, that's powerful too. And then when we started to dance, I was like, this is what it's all about. This is just great. This is great stuff. I had great people that I was working with, and everything was just chill and calm. So I enjoy it very, very much.
Very, very cool. Turning to the sort of content of the piece, I know you yourself work with a company that does a lot with refugees. What does it mean to you to have been a part of this piece, specifically that the RDG shelter?
That's a very hard question. I moved here when I was 4 years old with my family from Barbados. We weren't really refugees, but I can understand the feeling for the refugees to come from their hometown, home country to a different country and try to settle in, try to learn the language, try to like find food or try to find shelter. I think that's very powerful to me. And like some of them do make it and some of them don't. And for me to actually portray this type of character with you guys. It's powerful. I had to actually think about it because usually I'll just do a piece and okay, that's it. Next company, do a piece, next company. But I actually had to think about it after like the second week of us like, actually putting it together. I had to actually think hard about it, and I actually cried a little bit. So it's like it's very powerful. Like I said before, it's a very powerful thing, and I was glad and happy that I was part of it to show what it means to be coming from that part of the world or coming from that part of a refugee.
Wow, thank you for sharing. It's heartening to see how process can really sort of bring out those personal moments. And,
Mhm.
and I guess for you being able to do that through dance, at what point did you know that you wanted to be a dancer, or how did you come to dance?
Well, I started at 8 years old, and I was classically trained in ballet. But being a dancer was the first thing I wanted to do. Actually, I didn't know what I wanted to do at age 8. Around age 10, I want to be a stuntman, which is weird. Yeah, I tell to a lot of people, they're like, what? I was like, yeah, some kids want to be doctors, lawyers, firemen, astronauts, whatever. I want to be a stuntman. I guess because watching all those old school martial arts movies really like got me going. But I started to realize that when I wanted to actually dance was when I was actually 26 years old. Uh, it was 26, which is a very long time for a person to actually know what they wanted to do. But yeah, 26 was the age that I actually knew that, you know what, I can go far with this. It's going to be a struggle, but this is something I love to do and I appreciate it. And this is how I can actually share my feelings with other people that are watching me.
Wow, that's great to hear. I know, I wish we could talk all day about that. But we only have 5 minutes today, so let's move on to the next question. How was working through this process in film, through COVID on Zoom, different than the traditional dance experience? I mean, I guess we sort of touched on that with like bringing up your personal experience, but how has COVID affected how you're working today?
COVID had affected my work today because we have a lot of Zoom rehearsals. Oh man, I hate Zoom. Sorry guys, I really do. And like I'm not the type of person to actually learn from a video because I think it's hard for me because I tend to reverse a lot of things, especially when watching on video. And when we have Zoom rehearsals with Elena and the rest of the company, it was hard to see them. Sometimes we will freeze. Sometimes we had to switch studios because other people were coming in. My dog was walking in front of the camera. It was like I couldn't really focus at all. I couldn't really focus. So that was the hardest part for me. Doing it like live streaming and constant in the studios where everybody's in the studio. It's more relaxing and I'm focused a lot more. I have no kind of like sabotage in a way that can discard me from doing what I know. Yeah, it was difficult times. I really hope that this passes as soon as possible so I can get back in the studios and work with real people, not just looking at a big box all the time.
I think we all agree with you. This has been fabulous. So to close it off today, what's your favorite move from this piece, Home? And could you show a little bit? Could you maybe teach our audience out there?
Sure. Like I said before. Okay. Like I said before in the beginning, like I like when the camera was here and it pulled back and so that was my favorite part. It's just powerful to start off the whole piece great. So yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Sean. It has been a pleasure talking to you. And
thank you.
See you next time. Bye.
Yes, bye.
Here we are again. Now it's time to get into the Q&A section of our little show here, a live stream. And that's why we do these things live, right? So we can answer your questions right now. again, if you have any burning questions or not so burning or any question at all, type in the chat wherever you are watching. Oh, and before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to Rethink Films, Cody and Steve.
Yeah.
They were our video production teams, and they were so great to work with, and they did all the camera stuff and the shooting, and maybe we'll talk to them in a live stream coming up, maybe. But we have a whole artistic team that we can maybe bring into this little live stream area. We can discuss. But to get us started off, we have a question from, I think this was on YouTube, that asking if we would be doing a longer version of the pieces. Elena, why don't you take that one?
Sure. Yes, the answer is yes. I would love to do that. I don't know if I'd want to produce it during COVID, but definitely in the future, I see us building these out even further, creating a much longer film that we could even put into festivals, and create an entire, evening of dance surrounded about these causes. It was really hard to squeeze everything into under 2 minutes. So I'm dying to get back in with the cast and expand. Yes.
But I think that sort of leads to another question we have, which is about the process and how this was, how was this different than, sort of the work you've done before?
Well, a lot of this was clearly on Zoom, which was different. So you can't actually physically touch people. A lot of what we do in our authentic movement is partnering and working together and really feeling that authentic touch. And so we had to find ways to find that through the internet, whether it was small conversations that we had. But I think it required a lot of imagination from everybody. Like a whole new level. Even in the planning for me, I had to create all these formations that I normally wouldn't do, to really save time when we were together so we could be effective with the time that we had. Yeah. Any other?
Along that, I know, I was like, I have questions. Stick with what the people want. What is the process that goes into choosing the specific dancers for like the pieces they're featured in? I can't tell everyone that each piece has there's sort of a character basis for each dancer. So this one features Sean a lot as like the sort of main characters, and the rest of us are sort of either people in the world or this beginning thing. When you watch it again, look for this thing we do at the I'm trying to position myself with the lights. The dancers are trying to create the physical home, and we're over him, and then we break off and go away, and then it's all like chaotic. And then you'll see at the end we actually come back and create. It's like almost the same, but it's a little different and a little twisted. But then I come back and do it again.
Modifying fun. But yeah, I would add to that too, that I think, it's the same cast of dancers for each commercial, each of the 4 that we did. But for this in particular, I really wanted to have a diverse looking cast to really represent humanity in working with content and partnerships like this. I think that was super important. And also looking for dancers who are authentic in their movement choices and just who they are when they show up to rehearsal, that can also, they're willing to dive deep and use their experiences and be open with one another and support each other.
What is the role of like authenticity in Amalgamate's work?
Oh, it's I think it's, it starts at the core of who you are, that you're authentic with self when you step in. Like if you're having a bad day, cool, that's okay. Bring it in, use it. Like you don't have to hide that in the space. All the way to, doing the research and whatever the story is that we're telling, that you're going to do your homework and study up on the content and build your backstory and know who you are and what you're saying, and to down to the physical touch of really being able to look someone in the eye, or out of the audience, and partnering that's really connected, and not just movement for movement's sake, but movement that has that story and grit and rawness behind it.
Yeah, and I would just add it's about vulnerability and making yourself available to the audience. Does that remind me? I just need to look in the camera and not at the little faces. It's about finding that connection, or just really getting rid of like any extra, getting rid of the idea that you have to be something because you already are something.
Yeah, that's great.
How about that? Yeah. So I think we have time for one more question, and someone did ask how we chose the organizations we worked with. I think Elena, you can speak to that.
Sure, I'll speak on that. So we wanted to pick organizations that were pertinent to what's happening right now, especially during the COVID pandemic, that we could help the people who really need it right now. I mean, there's so much need, but to just narrow in on a few. And we also had a board member who was directly connected to most of these. So she really knew about these organizations, had contacts there, and knew that these were going to be really good partners for us to partner with, and have, build even a personal relationship with them that we can grow together. And we wanted smaller organizations that were local and that we could really benefit from the partnership together.
Great. So that concludes the Q&A portion. If you have any more questions, please put them in the chat. We'll get back to you, or we'll maybe answer them next week. So now, Elena, over to you.
Thank you. Gosh, those were such great questions. Thank you, guys. So as we near the end of our live stream tonight, I want to quickly share how you can get involved and support by donating, volunteering, or spreading the word. There are two specific ways you can donate towards RDJ. You can give directly to their organization, where they get 80% and Amalgamate gets 20%, or you can give to the combined Commercials for Humanity, which is for every $1 spent, it's a 5-way split between the 4 partner causes and Amalgamate. And you'd be supporting homelessness, racial injustice, economic hardship, and refugees. To donate and learn more, you can visit amalgamatedance.com/CFH. I'm sure someone's putting that in the comments right now. And there are also ways to support by volunteering with RDJ or Amalgamate. Amalgamate lists a handful of roles available on our website, from marketing to video editing to event coordinators. You can even work remote, which is happening anyway right now. And you might also want to check out our internships. You can email info@amalgamatedance.com for more info. And you can help RDJ Refugee Shelter by volunteering to celebrate personal milestones, making meals together, or dropping meals off, or tutoring guests in English. You can email admin@rdjrefugeeshelter.org for more info on that. And please check them out. Now, before we show the commercial one last time, I saw someone wanted an encore in the comments. I have a favor. Please help us spread the word about Amalgamate's work and this piece. Share it in social media, email it to your friends, tell your coworkers in your Slack channels. However you want to do it, it's our mission to transform lives. And the only way that we can do that is by getting our work in front of as many people as possible. So just click the share button and help us spread the word. And so for anyone who joined late, we are going to do an encore of Home. Here it is.
"37,000 people are forced to flee their homes every day due to conflict or persecution. Asylum seekers often have little access to government assistance and lack of personal network. Many are homeless. RDJ is New York City's first full-time shelter for asylum seekers. Guests receive food, shelter, legal support, education, job readiness training, and housing support. Rebuilding security, rebuilding lives, rebuilding home.
I love that the commercial is out in the world now. Thank you so much for joining us for the premiere. Just amazing. So you can join us next week for the debut of our second commercial titled No Strings. And you can learn about RIP Medical Debt Organization. They're incredible. Same time, same place. See you there and have a great night.